All right, welcome everyone to another intuition workshop. And today we're going to focus on law of attraction. So we're going to focus on understanding what law of attraction really means so that we can learn to embrace the unwelcomed law of attraction as the gift that they are. Try to get some intuitive answers on what law of attraction means, what it's supposed to be. And then I would like to take the opportunity to use an example of how I work with law of attraction. So we'll use the doodle board and we'll do columns, and then we can pick a situation if somebody wants to offer their situation to break it down, or we could choose COVID-19 as an example of what it triggers for everyone, and therefore what does it mean for you personally? What's the personal trigger for each of us that we can own and release? And as we work through that, because what I find is that we're stuck in the fear and we don't want to name the fear, so we're stuck. We're just frozen, we're numb, we're kind of in this frozen denial, usually because we don't know how to process it. And through the process of law of attraction, we can work out what the fears are that we don't want to name. And once it's named, it loses a lot of its potency. And then we can figure out what our own personal set of emotions that could be that we need to work through, because that's what the events are trying to trigger. And so we're all going to be in this holding state for a long time until we surrender to the emotions. And my belief is that the more a handful of us can start to work through our emotions, the more it actually starts to benefit everybody else. Next thing you know, everybody else start to become more comfortable with that emotion and start to name it. Everybody else start to speak about those things that we connect to in the group, and start to become more humble to releasing those pain. So that's my goal for today. How's that for everyone? Yeah? Okay. Cautiously. I haven't done the law of attraction process for a while now, and somebody got me all excited about it again today. So let's work through that. So let's start with, what's our current belief or emotions about law of attraction? And let's be honest, let's be real. What do you feel right now about what law of attraction means to you? Or when a law of attraction event happened, what's your first few reaction? Casey would probably just put it in the chat box, and she probably will have some real raw things to say right now, hopefully, with what she's going through. So you guys can pop it in the chat box. You guys can raise your hand, and I would like to hear from everyone. What do you guys feel? Mine usually is, it's like a brattish. I feel very bratty. I feel like, oh, come on, God, you and I talk all the time. Why do you have to create this event to kind of wake me up? And can't you just tell me? So I feel I get a little bit like embarrassed and angry about being embarrassed. Like, I'm better than others. Why do I need something so humiliating to happen to me? That's how I look at it. That's one of my current emotions about it. And Virginia says she sees it as a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Do you want to say more about that, Virginia? Expand on why do you feel it's a lot of work?
Because it feels like it is. Like it's something that I have to work through.
Yeah.
Okay. And sometimes it's not that clear, so you have to really put yourself into it to figure it out and work through it. Yeah. And I'm trying to change my thinking into seeing it as discovering more about myself, or more exploratory. Yeah. But you know, I still feel like that belief is in me that, damn, a lot of work coming up again, more work.
Okay. But stay with it. Stay with that honest emotion about, like, it feels like a lot of work. And deciphering it, and Hartwell just said, it's very puzzling. And it's a carrot that I'm always chasing. Like, it's this thing that I just can't catch. And how do you puzzle it out? And Jess, do you want to share?
Um, I fluctuate between being like, whoa, this is magical, and being really like addicted to it,
Yeah.
in a way, and going like searching for, oh, it's so magical,
Okay.
And mystical and spiritual, and getting in my ego about it. And then I also go into, I deserved that. I was bad.
It's a punishment.
And like
Okay.
it's a punishment. And then I also, to even avoid further, I blame other people. Well, that's your law of attraction, or like, well,
Yeah.
so they deserve that. That's their law of attraction. It's
Okay.
teaching a lesson. It's teaching, I'm being taught a lesson, or it's teaching you a lesson.
Yeah.
It really condescends to it.
And that makes you very reluctant to embrace it as a gift, because you're like, I don't deserve to be punished. So I'm angry. Why am I being punished? I didn't do anything wrong. So then you completely miss the point of what he's trying to say to you. So yeah, the feeling of it's being a punishment, because our parents, in avoiding their emotion, blame us for what was their law of attraction. You know, children are the parents' law of attraction. They then give us a negative outcome, which they then call an appropriate outside outcome for us, because we deserve it and we're being punished. But then we remember the rage inside of us going, I don't think it was my fault. So there's that anger inside of us of, I don't deserve to be punished.
I'm not
But then
even
I'm being
there.
punished.
It's more like I'm in the self attack.
Yeah.
And self judgment. But
Because we
yeah.
internalize the parent. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's a really good one. Thank you, Jess. KC, have learned to not hate it anymore. It brings confusion and frustration about not being able to understand what law of attraction is trying to bring out. However, the one that she's in right now, she thinks is beautiful because it's pointing out to her low self-worth and self-loathing that she's always had inside of her. And it started on the call on Sunday, and she'd been asking for clarification, and it keeps on coming. Okay, so after a while, you start to see it for what it is, but you got to work through these feelings of it's a punishment that I don't deserve. Wow.
I think that I'm onto something. I realize I'm kind of angry with the idea of the law of attraction.
Okay.
I think I have some kind of blockage.
Yeah.
I don't actually take it seriously, so I never actually try to do something seriously. And it's all muddled. So there's got to be some kind of addiction, some kind of thing going on for me.
For sure.
Because I instinctively feel that there's truth to it, and yet it feels like I can't apply it.
Right, because I can expand on what that's about or how it got created.
Well, I would appreciate that.
Okay. Well, when you're a child and events are happening for your parents, which is about their law of attraction to trigger their emotion that they don't want to feel, they then create consequences for the triggers that makes no sense to us. So now we're very confused going, did I do something? What did I do? And why am I getting that outcome? And I'm being told that that is a logical consequence to whatever it is I think I did. That was about you and your emotion. So being made responsible for somebody else's emotion and then being punished for it create the confusion we have about what law of attraction is, because our childhood law of attraction was not an accurate law of attraction. It was our parents' law of attraction. But we're trying to understand consequence to cause. Like, okay, what did I do? What was the cause inside of me? Because I'm being blamed for it. So what am I supposed to figure out? So A equals B, but sometimes A equals D. What's the law? What's the rule? I don't understand. So that's the childhood emotion of confusion that you're going to have to work out.
So how would you suggest going about clearing up that confusion? Well, so that it could be seen clearly.
Yeah. Well, one is to feel confusion. You may be projecting it at God. Like, God, your laws makes no sense to me. I don't understand what you want from me. What are your laws really about? They're very confusing. So to hash out those emotions. And as you do that, and then hopefully with the process that I want to show today, hopefully it helps you to break it down. I break it down into 3 steps. And usually by the 3rd step, things start to make sense. But then I also do a lot of practice because I do it with just about everyone over and over and over. So you start to develop a practice and ease about it. And mostly the law of attraction is to point out to us what we are denying. It's what we are, an emotion that we are denying. It's what it's trying to point out. And that's because we're not connected to our own emotions and we don't want to hear that truth directly from God or our spirit guides. We don't want to feel about it. So it's suppressed. So now your environment, because God is still trying to talk to us, is still trying to give us truth. So now our environment has to create events to trigger the emotion we're denying or the emotional truths that we're denying. But the truth it's denying is not saying you're a loser. It's saying you're denying that you feel like a loser. That's the part where we go, I don't want to feel about that because it tells me I am this person. No. It tells me that I feel I am this person. I don't want to release the feeling. That's how I see law of attraction. Law of attraction is also, like what Casey was saying, once you decide to work through something, then your law of attraction will actually ramp up to help really clarify precisely exactly that emotion you need. So if you trigger something and you're going, oh, I need to find this feeling or I need to work through this issue, then if stuff starts to happen even more, it's not that you're denying it, it's that, well, now that you're on it, let's really pick up the pace and really help you connect to it.
I think I have a tendency to pray for things. Yes. That I really, really want. And then all the things that are in the way of getting those things come in front of me. And then I forget that I've actually asked that prayer.
Exactly. Another thing I've seen is that if you have a strong desire for something, now all the blocks to getting what you desire has to be released. So now things are going to start happening to you to trigger the blocks. So some of you may go, I would really like to attract a beautiful partner. Next thing you know, all your current relationships start falling apart and you're going, why is the opposite happening to me? What just happened? Well, the block to a beautiful relationship is all of these other feelings you have or all of these other addictions you have that now has to come out more painfully, so that you can very appropriately and precisely trigger the emotion. Grace she loves law of attraction now because she sees how precise it is. It's really fun watching her work out law of attraction because she just go, oh my God, it's so precise. It's so good. It takes time. You got to work through a lot of issues.
So in other words, in order to see the equation fully, you can't be looking at simply the things you prayed for or the things that you're seeking to develop in your life. That's one side of the equation. The other side of the equation is everything that's in the way of your getting this that will come up.
Yes. It has to be
work through this in order for this to materialize in your experience.
Exactly. Exactly. You have to make room for it. Jess, you have a question? Comment?
A comment. Something that I very recently discovered about the equation and about it being so precise, that I had a huge block to figuring that out because of a huge rejection of the masculine, of men, do with issues with my father. So anything logical, rational, structural problem solving, I shut down. I don't even want to hear it.
Okay.
And I'm like all in the emotions and in the creative, but because I didn't want to go into the pain around my father, anything to do with that, like the logical and all, I was shoving it away. So even like being in sessions with you and you writing it on the whiteboard, and I'm just like, does not compute.
Right.
So I was open to feeling the pain around figuring out why I was rejecting the equation and how, because that side of me.
Okay. Wow, it's good awareness.
So now it's starting to come through. I don't know, just that's what came up when Hartwell was saying about the equation and all of that, that maybe that's something to.
That is going to be a block to interpreting. No, that's a really good point. That's a really good observation. Hi, Kathy and Kathy. Just want to point out two C's. We are recording today, and we're staying in a big group today. We're not doing the breakout rooms. And today's topic is law of attraction and how to decipher it. And I'll share my technique of working through it. But I also want to do some intuitive work. I want us to check in with our guides and receive information on what law of attraction is. You know, what does it feel like for you? What are your blocks to understanding law of attraction? So we'll work with that today as well. Other comments about what law of attraction feels like? Yeah, Jill?
Sometimes it kind of feels like I'm trying to be a mind reader. And that's that figuring out that equation, right? So, but yeah, it's like, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to tell me?
Yeah.
Just tell me.
Just tell me.
Just tell me.
Of course, and if we are emotionally open to feeling all feelings, then God will just tell us directly, you're avoiding this. But we are already emotionally blocked. So obviously it's something we're already denying. So that's always a good first assumption to make. I am in complete denial about this issue. I have no clue what it's about. Don't even guess. Just do the steps. That's usually the first thing I do. Hello, Bern. Bern, just to point out to you, we're recording today, and today's topic is about law of attraction and how to work with it. Okay. Okay, so why don't we ask some questions about law of attraction and then share what we get about that. My teachers say law of attraction is God's messenger of truth. That's what law of attraction is. And it doesn't lie. And if, let's say, you're trying to work through an issue and you think you figured it out, but your law of attraction hasn't changed, it hasn't changed. You haven't gone to the bottom of the issue. It's very, very reliable. It's something that you can count on to point out to you where you're at on that issue. So it's quite a lovely. It doesn't mean you haven't worked through it, but you have not gone to the bottom of it. Still some left, something like that. So, but we're where we're at with understanding what law of attraction is. So we gotta start with where we're at with how we feel about it. And I always love reading mysteries. I don't read romance. I don't watch romance unless it's a self-punishment act of some kind. Then I'll watch a romance. And I love mysteries. And to me, law of attraction is fun because it's about deciphering mystery. So, okay, let's ask the question. Let's ask, what is law of attraction? Let's just ask that question. Then we can ask, how can it help me? And then the third question is, what is my biggest block to receiving the gift of law of attraction? So 3 questions. What is law of attraction? We can ask God or our guides. How can it help me? What is my biggest block to receiving the gift from law of attraction? So let's take some time. Receive the answer, write down your answers, and then we'll come back to the group. All right, so I got some very pleasant answers to the question. Let's see if some of us can share what we got. And usually the answers we get answers that are meaningful for us, but when we hear other people's answers, those are also for us. We tend to get a richer scope of answers from everybody sharing the answers. So what I got was, what is law of attraction? It is a way for us to engage the world and interact with it. It's a moment-to-moment opening and unfolding of life to interact with us and to invite us into participating. So it's a beautiful moment-to-moment unfolding of saying, come and engage with the world. It's like a way for God to say, you're here, I see you, and I'm engaging with you moment to moment. That's what it felt like. And what did you guys get? Who wants to share what they got?
Okay, I'll go. Oh,
okay. That's a very all-encompassing approach. That's really cool, Dharm.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I speak?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Kathy, what did you get?
I just came to my mind of that the law of attraction, a big part of it for me is divine intervention.
Yeah.
And intuition. So if I really follow my guides and my guidance through intuition, then the truth will come clearer. Definitely come clearly.
Okay.
But if I fall into, if I find too, if I'm more cognizant of my dreams and really try to remember them and look at the messages that are coming to me, then I feel then that divine intervention is really playing a stronger role.
Okay.
I'm just more aware of my unconscious mind.
Okay.
And not in the addictions, the present addictions that are just pulling me away from the truth of the intuition.
That's beautiful. Okay, it's a very beautiful answer. Makes you want to embrace it, right? Makes you feel like, oh, I should be looking out for my law of attraction and really embrace it. It's a gift.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jill, what did you get?
I don't think until this moment I actually realized how afraid of my LOA I am. Yeah, I've seen how, well, for me personally, I've seen how bad it can be. Yeah. I have seen how good it can be too, but it's kind of, I equated it to the image that I got was those little tin Jack-in-the-Boxes. It's like every turn, it's like, what am I going to get this time? Okay, I really want this, but what am I going to get?
Yeah, okay. That's beautiful.
And I never realized, I always was on the, in the mindset that, I guess intellectualizing it, that, I love my LOA, it's great, but I didn't realize how afraid I was of it.
Yeah. And what did you get in terms of how can it help me, or what is it? What did you receive from you guys?
That along with the pain, it does come beauty. Like it does have that duality to it. That it has that. It's almost like you can't have one without the other. Okay. Yeah. And I think I was also a little too afraid to see the real benefit for me for my LOA. Which makes sense.
Angry, actually. You're too angry.
Yeah.
I'm still mad at all the things you brought me. We're not done. Yeah. And of course, law of attraction is always very, very gentle and small. So if you become more sensitive, like, you walk in, you bump your elbow into the wall and you go, what was that about? What was that about? You bump your toe going, what just happened? I broke a glass going, oh, law of attraction event. What's that about? So if you can read the small ones, then you don't need, like me, I needed to get a truck coming at me and T-bone my car to go, am I missing something? So I needed big ones. appendix rupture. It's like, I'm denying something. It took me another 2 years to figure out what that was about. So now, as you can see, I'm very passionate about deciphering it as quickly as possible. So yeah, okay, thank you for that. Others? Oh, I'll read out what Casey got. Hold on, Bert. A gentle, she calls it gentle now, a gentle law that encourages movement of emotions by causing some sort of restriction or something that is harmful to me or others. One of God's way of communicating with me. Thank you. Okay, I'll listen to Bern and then Jess. Bern, what answer did you get?
It comes as a teacher to guide me to a new way of doing things, especially when I'm unconscious of my behavior or my feelings.
Perfect. Okay. And what did you get for how is it help? How can it help me?
I think it can guide me in, I mean, for me, it can guide me into my heart so that I can be more loving.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. That's a beautiful, beautiful trust you have of your law of attraction now. It'll take me into my heart, and the outcome is I'll become more loving. That's beautiful. Okay. Thank you. And did you get the answer for what's my block, my biggest block to it?
I didn't. No.
That's fine. All right, Jess?
I got that it's a magnet.
Okay.
And that like attracts like. And so whatever's inside me, I'm being confronted with that on the outside. So if I don't like something and I'm full of that, then I'm going to be shown that. And so it's a magnet for it. And then if I release that, then I'm full of some love for once, and then I attract that.
Exactly.
So it's this magnet, whatever's inside of me, I'm attracting.
Perfect.
And then it's a message and a clue to show me exactly where to look.
Okay.
So if something happens and I don't like it, I can look at it as like, okay, this is a clue, feel about it. And then if I do that, then I'm presented with some like loving awareness, even though logically it's like, this is shit and I don't want to do that. But when I just surrender to it, then it's actually wonderful. Even the pain can be good. Yeah.
And what did you receive for your biggest block to it?
Not wanting to feel the pain. Being afraid of the pain. But as soon as I stop resisting it, it's actually there's grace, right? And so this, and then also this addiction to pleasure and comfort.
Yes.
As opposed to the pain and the surrender and the release and the grace, which is actually so much sweeter than all the cookies and chocolate that I go grabbing for. And then also feeling like I need to be productive. So I don't have time for that, to go and cry, to feel into that. I need to be in my right mind. And even though when I'm resisting feeling into it, then I can't focus anyways.
Got it. Thank you. It's about lovingly embracing and expressing every single emotions we have in our soul. However dark or uncomfortable the emotions are in your soul, they're in your soul. And how can I lovingly express all my emotions that are in my soul so they can be released from me? And of course, we are uncomfortable with the experience of the emotion. We're uncomfortable with the sense of judgment about, well, if I have this emotion in me, what does that make me? Also a feeling of blame, like, why do I carry this feeling? It doesn't mean that it must be true that that's who I am, that's why I feel this. So all of these can create blocks, and then just outright denial, like, I don't even have that emotion. Or I have not done any of those damages. Okay, wow. Who else? Grace, what did you get? I'm curious.
So I'm really excited because I love this topic. Finally, I did not always love this topic. I dreaded this topic for a very long time, but I love this topic. So I got law of attraction is like the gentlest, most loving way that God is trying to send you truth. And I did not believe that all the time. I thought it was very punitive. I felt it was very unfair. I felt a lot of times I didn't even feel like it had anything to do with me. It's like, no, this can't be about me. Like, you're just trying to shit on me. Like, I don't understand what's happening. But it's like you mentioned, it's so precise. It's so like spot on.
Well, precise is your word. I'm using your word. Precise. And I've just taken the word. I love that word.
But it's like so perfect. And it's mathematically perfect. Like, I don't know the equations, but it's so perfect, and it's so concise, and it's so gentle. It really, really is so gentle, like Casey said. It's an opportunity to ask questions. And yeah, there's no coincidence. There's no chance. There's no gambling about it. It's like, yeah, math. It's like math. It's so perfect.
And I think you have to develop a very high level of compassion before you're able to say, yeah, this is mine. I can embrace it. Mm-hmm. Before you can call it perfect, I think you have to develop a lot of compassion.
Well, you have to tantrum. I tantrumed for like so long. Like, what the hell is this bullshit again? But when you can work through it and you can sort of figure out why something has happened, it's like, oh yeah, well, duh, of course that was going to happen.
It's like, always, by the time you finish it, figuring it out, you're like, oh yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that had to happen. Like, it had to happen in that very specific way, in that order, in order for it to get into here. Someday,
I'm just holding space for this topic till Grace is ready to teach it. What did you get for how we can help you?
It's like a light. It's like turning on a light in a space that you didn't even know was dark. Yeah. So it's just that illumination and that opportunity to see. You don't have to. You can keep your eyes shut. You don't have to look if you don't want to.
Till it becomes a truck.
Exactly. But I mean, even with that, like, it always starts off the smallest it has to be, and then slowly ramps up as we resist and resist and resist and resist. But even that, in that slow incremental ramping up is also loving, because it's like, you're not going to go from 0 to 100 in, to 0 to 100. You're going to go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So it's just.
What's your biggest block, if you have any?
Impatience.
Okay.
So I want to like know it all, so I can like fix it all now, even though I feel like that would kill me. to know it all at once. So
you can just see Grace lit up, eh? All this back real quiet, and it's like, oh my God, look at her! We can feel it here. That's really good.
I love this. I love it. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Steph, what did you get? Do you wish to share?
It was actually kind of intriguing that I actually had to work through these questions backwards.
Okay.
So I had to go through the block to even hear question one.
Yeah.
No, it was how it needed to happen, right? As Grace would say. So in that order, I had to go through understanding that I'm really angry that this is about submission and surrendering. And like that giving in that I don't want to do.
Yeah.
and then being humble to that pain and having compassion that I'm only trying to survive as a child, and like giving in, and that pain of submitting to my parents' anger to make them feel good, even though as a child I'm just inherently just showing them the truth. And then how that helped me, or how LOA is supposed to help me, is to getting to know myself and getting to know others around me.
Okay.
And then I finally got to question 1, where it was like, oh, this is just pattern, cycle, story recognition that keeps looping on repeat, like any of those movies, like Groundhog Day, right? Where he just keeps waking up in the same day over and over again until you receive that understanding for that causal moment, and then you get to move forward.
Okay.
So
that is beautiful. Thank you. That's such a relevant answer. I love it. Love it when we all come together and share what we get, and it adds richness to our answers. Okay, so why don't we, I'm going to share what I got for how it can help me was that I get to feel alive and engaged and interactive. And I get to see that our participation in life matters, that life knows I exist, I'm here, and it wants us to participate. And that life is responding moment to moment to the fact that I'm here. And it's constantly moment to moment moving and changing law of attraction events based on where I'm at, my desire, my denial. It's like, I know you're here, I know you're alive, and that your participation matters. Welcome to it. So that's what it feels like to me, that's how law of attraction can help. And my biggest block, which is very insightful, was that I'm terrified of being out of control, because my mother controlled every moment of my interaction in my life, and she also controlled the interpretation of what was going on. Like, she was the one putting the words and the meaning to events for us. And so I think law of attraction is going to be like my mother. So that's why I'm afraid of law of attraction. But the truth is that law of attraction is gateway to freedom, not more suppression. So I have not seen this before, and I need to separate out law of attraction and what I experienced in my mother's home, 2 separate things. So it was very helpful. And Casey got down, law of attraction can help pull very, very painful events out of me when I allow the law to generate the emotions in me. I can use it as a tool. And her block is my unwillingness to let go of addictions and facades. I'm also trying to force it. Sarah is showing me that I'm pushing a giant boulder up a hill. So what I felt is trying to figure out what the law of attraction means instead of letting the event trigger the emotion. So if I'm trying to figure it out, I'm still trying to control it. But if I let it hit me emotionally, then you can go through it very quickly. So let's do a small example of how I look at it. Let's see now if I can make this work. And there's a way to do straight lines. I don't have to use my own imagination to draw a straight line. So here I'm gonna try law of attraction event. So let's say that I'm going to put down COVID-19. So what are some of the events that's happened because of COVID-19? Just shout out. I can't see everybody raising their hand. Just shout it out.
Loss of income.
Social distancing.
Loss of income. And then we have the social distancing.
Isolation.
Isolation. What else?
Escalation of fear.
Yes. So fear escalated.
Severe punishments if you don't obey political enforcement.
Yeah, so it is suppression of free will.
That, yes.
Okay.
Restrictions.
Restriction. Okay.
Free time.
Free time. So potential food shortage and free time. Okay, so loss of income. What does that bring up for you?
Anxiety.
Anxiety. Social distancing. What does it bring up for you?
Loneliness.
Loneliness. Okay. And what does isolation bring up for you?
Contact. Or lack of contact.
Lack of contact. Escalation of fear. What does that bring up for you?
Eating chocolate.
So comfort, right? We do comfort, addictions, okay? And suppression of free will, where you got government, punishing you for disobeying. What does that bring up for you?
Anger. Same as Casey, anger.
Anger. And, okay. So that brings up anger. Restriction.
Trapped. Feeling trapped.
Feeling trapped. Food shortages. What does that bring up?
Panic.
Panic. What else?
Uncertainty.
Uncertainty. And free time. What does that bring up for you? Say again?
Relief.
Relief.
Relief. What else?
Judgment.
Anxiety.
Anxiety. What else?
Boredom.
Creativity.
Creativity, boredom, creativity. Okay. Now, what does COVID-19 itself bring up for you?
I feel like it's stupid.
Say again?
I get this feeling like, oh, it's stupid.
It's
So stupid.
okay. It feels stupid. What else?
What is the question, Gar?
Somebody singing an aria back there? Who's got that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It feels dirty.
Dirty. What else?
Inconvenient.
Inconvenient. What else?
A wake-up call.
A wake-up call. Okay. Okay. So usually I will do what the event is. I will do what the event is. And then I will do what does it make me feel that the event is happening. And then I will go into the last column to get even deeper into, and therefore I feel what. And usually this is where the clues are. Usually I don't get clues right away. This is first my own reaction about it. And then I have to do another level of, so what does that make me feel? So then I go into another layer of breaking through it to know what's going on. So what does it make me feel that we have this dirty, inconvenient wake-up call happening right now? What does that bring up? What does it make you feel that there's something very dirty going on out there? There's this virus. Ugh.
Fear.
Fear? Fear of what?
Fear of the discomfort of getting it, or
fear
that,
of, and therefore what will happen?
Or one of my children my kids getting it.
And therefore what will happen if they get it?
I guess I fear more that they might end up with something chronic that will last for the rest of their lives here. that'll impact them in some way, physically.
So like,
because I don't feel like a fear of death as much as I do of living in discomfort for the rest of my life here.
So would helplessness be a good word?
Yeah, it's out of my control.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Helplessness.
And loss of income create anxiety. What does that make you feel that you have anxiety about losing income? What does that bring up for you guys?
That I'm going to be homeless again.
Homeless, yeah. And for some of us, that's again.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Security.
I feel powerless, insecure. What else?
Out of control.
Say again.
Having no control.
Yeah. So if you have no control, what does that feel? What is the word?
Helplessness.
Helplessness. Powerlessness. Okay. Powerlessness. Helplessness.
Despairing.
Is despair? Did somebody say despair?
Yes.
Okay. Despair. Okay. Social distancing causing loneliness. What does that make you feel that you're lonely?
Rejection.
Rejection. Okay.
Not good about myself.
Okay. How come?
In the way that, like, I already live a fairly isolated life, so like I'm realizing that like not a lot is changing right now because I don't really want to be out in the world because I actually don't feel great about myself. So this is kind of like a nice out from having to engage when I don't really want to. So
it enhances it. So I don't feel good about myself anyway. So it
this is not really it doesn't feel like it's affecting me because it's kind of been a nice excuse to not have to say go to the family house for Easter dinner.
Yeah.
I'm using it as an excuse.
A lot of people have said it's been a relief to not have to go visit,
right,
grandparents and whatnot, and all this obligation. We don't want to go. Especially is that generation that we are going, oh, yikes, I'm so sorry I don't get to visit them. So, okay. Isolation, creating lack of contact. What does that make you feel?
Frustration.
Okay. What else?
Numb.
Numb. Okay. What else?
Unloved.
Unloved. Because that's how you get love, from having contact with people.
Invisible.
Invisible. Okay.
Hopeless.
Hopeless. Yeah. Because basically these are all on the left-hand column here. These are all addictions that we now don't get anymore. If we use money as a way of creating security, now that's been taken away. So now you got to feel insecure because it was just covering over that feeling. So fear is escalated. So now we want more comfort addictions. What does that make you feel?
Shame.
Shame. And you can't even go distract the shame by doing something else. You actually are around long enough to feel the shame. What else?
Judgment.
Judgment. Yeah.
Unworthy.
How come?
because you've defined yourself from the comforts that you're used to having community, and to be alone is your unworthiness comes out strongly.
Unworthiness gets exposed because you already have that feeling. Okay, so unworthiness feelings gets exposed. Yeah. So our free will is being suppressed because now they're talking about, oh my God, vaccine. So I'm getting a whole bunch of emails and I'm like, I kind of like what I got to say. Somebody else is going, what's your opinion about 5G? I'm like, you're not going to like my answer. So I haven't even responded because they're not going to get what they want, what they think I'm going to say. So suppression of free will creates anger. What does that make you feel?
I don't have control.
Yeah, lack of control. Helpless. Yeah.
Terror.
Somebody else is telling me what to do.
Yeah, how could you? Being told what to do. Yeah. Okay.
Fear of acting out.
Fear
of acting out.
You're afraid that you're acting out or that other people are going to act out?
Either. Both.
What about those mobs? Okay. And okay, how about, let's just go to food shortages, creating panic and uncertainty. What does that do? It really triggers my feeling of helplessness for me. I feel like I'm a chicken with a head cut off. I'm so terrified about this. It just brings up panic. Because my mother and my grandparents used to have food shortages in their, if they have a bad growing season or something like that. So a lot of their very terrible money-related behaviors came from not healing from those experiences. So I have lots of that. What else does it bring up for everyone?
Terror.
Tara?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else?
I don't know that I have the closer words for it, but it's like this idea of not understanding how to spend the resources that I do have. Like, there's a food shortage. So what do I need to focus on for at least keeping my health going as best as possible? Like, what do I do with the little that I have to keep me going?
Yeah. So what's the feeling there? Indecisiveness, fear of making mistakes?
It's like a fear of not knowing what I should be doing, or like not having that inherent survival skill of what I should be feeding myself.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm really angry that I'm actually not been taught how to survive in a time of lack.
Yeah. But do you see how you feel terror and then you go into blame? Because every time you go, oh, that's blame, so I just ran away from a terror. Terror just came up because every time terror come up and you want to get away from it, you have to go into blame. The mathematical thing that happens inside of us. So whenever I go into blame, I'm going, oh, did I just touch terror somewhere that I'm trying to get away from?
I think that's what a lot of the conspiracy theories are.
Yes. About avoiding terror, because all the conspiracy theory is about blaming. And free time, we feel relief, we feel boredom, we feel creativity coming up. What's that bring up for you that you have free time now?
Good feelings. Makes you feel good.
Yeah. Okay. Does it also make you feel guilty?
Yeah, I was just about to say guilty, because really somewhere deep down inside, I just don't want the self-isolation thing to stop.
Yes. Yes. It's a relief to like, oof, we get time. Okay, what else do you feel?
Shame.
Shame because?
For the guilt of really enjoying that I get to do what I want to do.
Yes. Okay, the time and the opportunity. Okay. Okay, so you get a gist of it. You get how we started at 1, and then we kind of go, okay, what does it make me feel that I have? Because we don't feel our deep emotion right away. I have to take a couple of steps. So I'll go into, social distancing makes me feel lonely. Okay, so what does it do to me that I'm lonely? Where does that take me? Oh, I feel rejected, but I don't feel good about myself anyway. So it kind of normalizes that I am lonely and I want it. Then it makes you go, that's kind of sad that that's what I feel I deserve, or that's what I feel I want to create for myself. So then you start to, at some point, you start to go, helpless, powerless, powerless, helpless, hopeless, unworthiness, shame, helpless, shame. You kind of start to go, okay, so under it all, with this law of attraction, this theme of the feelings that keeps coming up again and again and again. So then you know, like, okay, I must be denying the emotion of helplessness. So then I go into, I saved this, by the way, so please don't panic. Okay, so then I go into, say I was like, okay, I keep coming up with helplessness. So I must be denying the emotion of helplessness in me. So it means that you have no clue where it is, you have no clue what it's about. So then you can set certain desire. You can say, where in me is this emotion stored? Emotion stored. You can go, why do I not want to feel this emotion? And then you can go, how can I connect to this emotion? And I usually will say, by the way, how can I gently find access to this emotion? Because, sometimes I think God has a sense of humor, and I'll be like, yeah, can we do this nicely and slowly, please? Be gentle when you try to trigger this inside of me. But mostly it's about, why do I not want to feel this emotion? So I usually will outline a bunch of questions about, I must be denying this emotion. So I'm already assuming I'm in denial of it because it's showing up from outside of me, okay? I have no clue where it is. I have no clue what it feels like. I have no clue how it got created. I don't know how it got created in me. Don't guess. Just follow the feeling, and it will take me to the cause. And I generally find fear of the emotion will be there first to show up. Always. Whatever the emotion is, you're afraid to feel it. The first thing you're going to feel is fear about how you don't want to feel it. So you start to have dreams, you start to have nightmares, you start to have more addictive behavior. Suddenly you start to really want to do those things you didn't think you want to do anymore. Like some addiction come back even stronger, and you're like, there's not even an emotion coming up. I'm already trying to be frenzied. Like, what is happening? Is something waking up? So those can be your clue. So usually I pick an emotion and I go, how do I find this one? And I'm probably not gonna like it. So also tantruming about the emotion also helps. You're going to have to tantrum. You're going to have to feel how much you don't want to feel helplessness. And it really helps to work through all of it all the way. And usually once I am no longer denying the emotion, LOA tend to change. So if I'm denying helplessness, I'm going to have trigger of helplessness. Now I'm going, oh, it's about helplessness. Okay, I got it. I got to start looking for it. I got to start finding it. I got to start feeling it a little bit. So you're no longer denying it. So the events no longer need to happen to you to make you aware. And then you're going, I'm really terrified of feeling this emotion. So then you start to release the fear about feeling helplessness. Your law of attraction changes again because it doesn't need to bring you the fear of the emotion. So another layer of law of attraction has now changed. And it gets better and better and better. But yet, in some situation, your law of attraction will ramp up to really help recreate the helplessness perfectly. Because usually the emotion is so locked up, I really can't find it. I really need a law of attraction event to burst it back out again. So it's actually helping. And then at some point, once you release the feeling of helplessness, now very positive law of attraction will happen. So at first, I find the absence of unwanted law of attraction, which already to me feels a relief that I no longer have unpleasant law of attraction. But then when the pain is released, now very positive law of attraction starts to happen. Maybe you start to feel that anytime you want something, it just shows up for you. Or you start to feel that you have access to your own abilities and resources and access, or resources start to show up for you whenever you need it. Something like that will happen. And now very positive law of attraction also start to show up for you to confirm. And another thing I have learned is that you can also actually, if you want, you can look at a positive law of attraction. So if let's say you always somehow always land on your feet, somehow someone's always helping you, you just have really good friends, or your health is generally always very good, something, you can look at something and you can say, you know, I'm a creator of that as well. That positive law of attraction, the cause of it is also inside of me. So you can actually make a list of the pleasant law of attraction and then go, what in me is the cause of that? And then you start to feel what is it you have in your soul that's creating the positive law of attraction. And then you can enhance it. You can go, oh, I have this belief system in me about this issue, and that's why it's constantly creating beautiful law of attraction. What more can I do with that belief? What more can I do? How can I make it stronger? How can I make it more passionate, more emotionally loud, so that I ramp up my positive law of attraction? So you can also use it that way. I've done it once or twice, and it was very, very revealing. It actually revealed to me, what is it that I do in my practice that is actually the asset or the gift that I have that I didn't realize I have. And I'm trying to scramble to do all these other helpful things for people, when actually what was working was this other gift I have inside of me. And once I received the answer, then I just started to bring that more forward. And I start to relax and do less, engage less addiction, because what's working is this other skill I have that is a gift from God, and I don't need to make it happen. So, you know, if you're looking at the COVID situation and you're going, you know, somehow money keeps showing up for me. I wonder where that's coming from. What is it that I have inside of me that somehow I'm able to attract resources? Where is that coming from? And then work with that. So that can also make you become aware of other assets you have inside of you, or other positive emotions or belief system or support. So there you go. That's law of attraction in a nutshell, until Grace gets into her full expression of sharing that, her own insights and wisdoms about it. And who knows, all of you, as you keep learning about this material, you start to get excited and you start to own and you start to have your own passion about certain aspects about it, and you start to bring your own gifts and your personality out. Okay, so what's your takeaway from today? What would you like to share? Steph?
I really like that this is being recorded, because that last piece on positive law of attraction,
yeah,
I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to see that there is likely good coming to me in that way. And beautiful. Thank you.
Okay. Well, there has to be something in you, because here you are in this community. You have a community you keep attracting. You have friends and teachers that you keep attracting. They keep believing in you and keep persisting and keep, like, there's something there. Yeah, thank you. Casey, keep asking God and my guides questions. Yeah, perfect. That's what Casey's getting from today, to keep asking questions. What else? Who else want to share? What's jumping out for you for today? Virginia.
I remember.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I remember you saying when you asked, what is my biggest block to it, the
yes.
law of attraction?
Yes.
And you said, how can I lovingly express all my emotions so that, and I've completely forgotten what you said the so that was. So I've been like searching, what is the reason for me lovingly expressing all my emotions? Or maybe not lovingly expressing if I'm on my own, but is it so that I can arrive, it's just maybe a light bulb came on, at more of a positive LOA? Is that why?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So what you're saying is that if I release all my emotions that are in my soul, what would that do? Is that what you're asking?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because once you release, like what Jess was saying, it's a magnet, right? Once you emotionally express and release all your anger from inside of your soul, there's no anger left in you. There's no magnet to attract anger or fear back at you, because there's no anger inside of you. I mean, you still may get angry people coming at you, but they just won't have, I've had experiences before where I have somebody who's angry with me, and then suddenly they'll calm right down, because there's nothing inside of me that's, plugging back at their anger and stuff like that. So yeah, if the emotion is completely gone from you, there's like the law of attraction goes right through you, because there's nothing to respond to. So yes, so if you want to change your law of attraction to make it more pleasant, get rid of all of those dark emotion we judge, express them all lovingly. Absolutely. Yeah.
It's hard to believe that we could actually express them all and they'd be gone.
They'd be gone, all of them.
Really?
Yeah. It's your soul, it's your will. Unfortunately, even though you didn't create them, most of them, now it's up to you to release them. But all that law of attraction is trying to do is trying to say, you got to see what's in your soul, and you got to not judge it, and you got to lovingly express all of it. Get rid of all of it. Even though you're lovingly expressing love as well, but because it's in harmony with God, or because it's an expression of your true nature, it becomes bigger and bigger. And the other emotions are an expression of error, and you just have to get rid of it. But generally, people don't choose to then go recreate those emotions again. Once you've expressed those pain, you're not going to deliberately go and recreate situation and earn more of that pain by going through it. So you just don't attract it again. And I mean, basically, you can then change what you are expressing and what you're attracting, but other people have free will. So you may still have people treating you badly when it had nothing to do with you, which is what happened to all children. Children don't have anything bad inside of them that's attracting all those events. It's the adults who have their free will and they're imposing it on children. They're not to blame. So we can still get, but you reduce the chances of law of attraction to a very small amount to attract unpleasant law of attraction to a very small amount. All by expressing every single unpleasant emotion in your soul. You got it, Bern. You put your finger on it. That's all God is asking us to do. Some involve repentance and some involve forgiveness. At the end of the day. Sorry, social isolation isn't working on the motorbikes out here. All right, who else? Julia, do you have any comments? What's standing up for you today?
I was actually thinking that I'm like, this is the most free time I've ever had in my adult life. And I'm enjoying some of that. And I just realized that there's this feeling in me that, am I going to be paying for this later? Like, is there going to be some sort of repercussion to this? Because am I not taking it seriously enough? Am I denying something here and it's going to come back and bite me here?
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know if it's because maybe I'm in denial, or
no,
or is it just am I back to self-punishment again?
Yeah, we live in addictions where we're supposed to earn our worth and supposed to earn our value and validation, and but that's not how God designed us. I mean, look at life in the spirit world. After a certain point of releasing pain from your soul, you're just hanging out, exploring, following your passion, desire, learning, growing. Like, nobody's expecting anything of you. And life
sounds wonderful.
Yeah. And you will never die, and life goes on forever. That's a lot of time. Yeah. All right. Jill, how are you doing with law of attraction now?
Better. I touched on some really good nuggets. So I'm gonna try and get into them. Desire to get into them.
Yeah.
Ask for help, I think, is probably the best way to put that. Yeah.
Absolutely. What am I denying in this law of attraction is a big question. And look up your positive law of attraction. If you look at Divine Truth's material, lectures on law of attraction, I think the earlier work, he talks about positive law of attraction and how to work with it. Like, that's positive. Like, you created that. You look at the mess in your life and you go, wow, I am a fantastic creator. I created all this mess. Like, man, I must be good at this. I'm an amazing creator. Imagine what I'm going to be like once this is clear and I'm just creating passionate, positive things that are in harmony with my nature. It's about expressing your nature. But yeah, if you figure out the positive one, then you can kind of do more of that. It's kind of fun to do that.
Yeah.
And then
it was a good reminder too.
Yeah.
On the positive side, it was a very good reminder of that too. That even though there has been, yes, some really drastic negative ones, there also have been some very drastic positive ones as well. So
someday, when you feel comfortable, you can actually ask your spirit guides, how do you feel about law of attraction? Because they love it. They love it. They have a very different perspective. And in the mediumship group I'm in, I'm actually supposed to do this homework where I'm supposed to ask my guides about their feelings about law of attraction, so that we can have a more embracing love, like Mary loves and is open to a law of attraction. A lot of our resistance is to law of attraction, but when you let that go and embrace every law of attraction as a messenger of truth from God, whom you love, then you have very little resistance. I'm not there because I think law of attraction is my mother, so gotta work with that. But good insight, good to know that. So, okay, today was a bit of a different one. We'll see where that takes us, and then we'll see what happened for Sunday. If you want, Sunday, we can do part 2 of Law of Attraction. You can bring us a situation and we can break it down, or we can ask more questions about it. Totally up to you.
Sunday is at 10 a.m.?
Yes, so sorry about that complicated email stuff. Oh my God. I think I'm figuring it out now. But yes, it's 10 a.m. Sundays, 7 p.m. Wednesdays until life comes back.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure.
Take care. Good night.
Thank you, Dharm.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.